fucking hate dysfunction, man. God, I can't stand this shit. It's all just so frustrating, man. I find myself in these weird situations where, like, I'm not where I want to be. Right? Like, I'm not, and I can't fix it. I can't do anything about it. And I try to fix it. I try to talk about things, but it just doesn't work. It just creates problems. And I'm just tired of it. It feels like it's part of the narrative. It's part of how we're supposed to feel and part of how we're supposed to interact and all that. And it's just so fucked up. I don't know how to fix the situation. It's not like you can quit and get a new job, you know. That's not how that works. I don't know. What do you do? Strange feeling, man. So anyway, Israel's the bad guy, blah blah blah. I just don't even feel like it. I'm so fucking just dejected right now, and frustrated. I just don't feel like it. Which is all part of it, you know. We're supposed to be in these situations where we feel that way, and it prevents us from doing what we need to do. It prevents us from the unification that's necessary to be able to overthrow the system. I don't know. Overwhelming. It's weird too, like I can see why I'm in the situation I'm in. I can see the steps and the processes that like you grow up in a dysfunctional environment. As screwed up as it is, you would think like you would want to you would do everything you could to get out of it. But that's when you grow up with dysfunction. That's what you know. That's what's comfortable to you. And so then you end up finding that same dysfunction just because it's comfortable, and then you sit there and you hate it so much, but it brings out all those same feelings you had as a kid, how you hated this, you hated that, but it's so weird. It's so weird. I don't know. I wish I knew how to snap my fingers and fix things, and it's broken from the beginning. It's never gonna fix itself. You're never gonna get fixed being broken. And well, I mean, I guess you could if everyone involved is willing to acknowledge their part, then yeah. Then things can get better. But if everybody's not willing to acknowledge their part, then it's never going to get better. I don't fucking know. I don't see myself going live for much longer today. I'm just not in it. I'm just frustrated and pissed off, and the situation is what it is. It is what it's doing what it's supposed to do. You know, we're supposed to be in situations that are just overwhelming and distraction. It's all distraction. It's all about keeping us from looking at the real. And that's relationships, our whole idea. It's all just programmed bullshit. And I wish I didn't have kids. I wish I didn't have two more people to follow the footsteps that were laid out by the generations beforehand. Because it's gonna be even worse to watch them go through it. Hopefully they don't, but I just don't see how. Like for me, my mom was a drunk, and because I was so adamant, I don't want anything to do with drinking, blah blah blah. I didn't find someone that was drunk, but I found someone with, similar situations created similar outcomes, similar personality traits. And instead of saying, my wife is nothing like my mom, I can't. And it's frustrating. It's irritating. I just don't know what to do. I don't know. Like, if any of you are familiar with it, you could go to Facebook. You'll never see any posts from my wife supporting the band, supporting the any of it. Not a fucking thing. Why do you who's it isn't for that? It's so stupid. It's just so weird. I don't know. I'm tired of being tired. I'm tired of the shit. And I just don't want to do it anymore, but I don't know how. Let's go! Let's go, dumbass. Even something as stupid as dumbass dogs. Like, I want nothing to do with this. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have any animals. Let's go! Let's go! Come on! Oh. I hate this dog so fucking much. Oh! God, I hate this dog. I don't know. So what's new with the Israel stuff? I mean, it's just the same. It's all the same bullshit, man. Whether it's small picture, big picture, it's all the same. Too bad. You don't get to. He's not a mutt. He's a big giant monster cane corso. I don't even know. I don't even know what, like, I'm so thrown off today that I don't even know what to talk about. I don't know what to, there's so much going on in the world, and let's look up Israel news. Israel kills 58 Palestinians in Gaza in 24 hours. Israeli soldiers reveal systematic destruction of Palestinian property to create Gaza buffer zone. Israeli military says 15 aid workers in Gaza killed due to sense of threat. Oh, because the video of the aid workers is finally coming out. The aid workers that the Israelis lied about and said that they didn't know what happened to them and this, that, and the other. What's coming out that they did know. They actually killed them. Israel's Supreme Court considers Netanyahu's attempt to fire spy chief. World must act urgently to help Gazans, top UN officials urge, BBC. Turkey and Israel are becoming deadly rivals in Syria. Why is Israel attacking Syria? Gee, it's exactly what I told you would happen. First it would be Lebanon, then it would be Syria. Syria's new resistance takes on Israel and a U.S. axis of evil. Microsoft workers say they've been fired after 50th anniversary protest over Israel contract. That's a big one. Let's see. Microsoft has fired 2 employees who interrupted the company's 50th anniversary celebration to protest its work supplying artificial intelligence technology to the Israeli military, according to a group representing the workers. Microsoft accused one of the workers in a termination letter Monday of misconduct designed to gain notoriety and cause maximum disruption to this highly anticipated event. Microsoft says the other worker had already announced her resignation, but on Monday it ordered her to leave 5 days early. The protest began Friday when Microsoft software engineer Ibital Abusad walked up toward the stage where an executive was announcing new product features and a long-term vision for Microsoft's AI ambitions. You claim that you care about using AI for good, but Microsoft sells AI weapons to the Israeli military, Assad shouted at Microsoft AI CEO Mustafa Suleyman. 50,000 people have died, and Microsoft powers this genocide in our region. The protest forced Suleyman to pause his talk while it was being live streamed from the Microsoft campus in Redmond, Washington. Among the participants at the 50th anniversary of Microsoft's founding were co-founder Bill Gates and former CEO Steve Ballmer. Microsoft said Suleyman calmly tried to de-escalate the situation. "Thank you for your protest. I hear you," he said. Abusad continued shouting that Suleyman and all of Microsoft had blood on their hands. She also threw onto the stage a keffiyeh scarf, which has become a symbol for support of Palestinian people before being escorted out of the event. A second protester, Microsoft employee Vinaya Agarwal, interrupted a later part of the event. Abusad, based at Microsoft's Canadian headquarters in Toronto, was invited on Monday to a call with a human resources representative at which she was told she was being fired immediately, according to the advocacy group No Azure for Apartheid, Azure, which has protested the sale of Microsoft Azure cloud computing platform to Israel. I mean, think about it. Why would Microsoft, why does Google and Amazon have multi-billion-dollar contracts with the Israeli military, and those contracts state that anybody in the military can use it, and that Microsoft and Amazon isn't allowed to dictate, who is allowed to use? They're not allowed to say, "Hey, you used our software for nefarious purposes. You're not allowed to do that." That's not allowed. Like, it's just so insane. It's right in front of your face. It's right in front of your face, and like always, you just don't see it. It's fucking insane. An investigation by the Associated Press revealed earlier this year that AI models from Microsoft and OpenAI had been used as part of an Israeli military program to select bombing targets during the recent wars in Gaza and Lebanon. It's not a war. The story also contained details of an errant Israeli airstrike in 2023 that struck a vehicle carrying members of a Lebanese family, killing 3 young girls and their grandmother. In its termination letter, Microsoft told Abu Saad she could have raised her concerns confidentially to the manager. Instead, it said she made hostile, unprovoked, and highly inappropriate accusations against Suleiman and the company that had her conduct was so aggressive and disruptive that you had to be escorted out of the room by security. It's funny how people act when they don't like what you're saying. You know, it's not like whatever it is gets addressed or no, I don't like what you're saying, so you can't say it. I don't like how you're saying it. Agarwal had already given her 2 weeks notice and was preparing to leave the company on April 11th, but on Monday, a manager emailed them that Microsoft has decided to make your resignation immediately effective today. It was the most public, but not the first, protest over Microsoft's work with Israel. In February, 5 Microsoft employees were ejected from a meeting with CEO Satya Nadella for protesting the contracts. We provide many avenues for all voices to be heard. Obviously not. It's obvious that's not what's happening. Importantly, we ask that this be done in a way that does not cause a business disruption. If that happens, we ask participants to relocate. We are committed to ensuring our business practices uphold the highest standards. Microsoft had declined to say Friday whether it was taking further action, but Abu Saad and Agarwal expected it was coming after both lost access to their work account shortly after the protest. Dozens of Google workers were fired last year after internal protests over a contract it also has with the Israeli government. Isn't it funny how they say that, like, well, you can do this confidentially and yada yada, but then they get fired for doing it? Employee sit-ins at Google offices in New York and Sunnyvale, California, targeted a $1.2 billion deal known as Project Nimbus, providing AI technology to the Israeli government. The Google workers later filed a complaint to the National Labor Relations Board in an attempt to get their jobs back. I'm sure they didn't. So let's look that up, because I've talked about Project Nimbus before. It's just another avenue of this. Project Nimbus. Let's see. Project Nimbus. Project Nimbus is a $1.2 billion cloud computing project involving the Israeli government, its military, and technology companies Google, Google Cloud Platform, and Amazon, Amazon Web Services, aimed at providing an all-encompassing cloud solution for various government agencies. Well, let's check out the Wikipedia page, right? So look at all that information they give us. Wow, that sure is a lot. Is a cloud computing project of the Israeli government and its military. The Israeli Finance Ministry announced in April 2021 that the contract is to provide the government, the defense establishment, and others with an all-encompassing cloud solution. Through a $1.2 billion contract, technology companies Google, Google Cloud, and Amazon were selected to provide Israeli government agencies with cloud computing services, including AI and machine learning. Under the contract, the companies will establish local cloud sites that will, quote, keep information within Israel's borders under strict security guidelines. According to a Google spokesperson, the contract is for workloads related to finance, healthcare, transportation, and education. It does not deal with highly sensitive or classified information. Well, if they say that, it must be true. Life's rough. The hard things in life make us appreciate the good things in life since there's a lot of bad. Yeah, but there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. And we as people should be working towards fixing that. Good morning, Matt. I don't know if I said that right, but we should be actively working towards fixing that. And we should be honest about this. I mean, literally, this whole Israel situation, who can make it make sense in like a reasonable kind? Oh, okay, yeah, I guess that does kind of make sense. Who can do that? I don't think anybody can, because it's all bullshit. Moreover, the tech companies are contractually forbidden from denying service to any particular entities of the Israeli government. Do you hear that? Let me read that again. So first they say, according to a Google spokesperson, the contract is for workloads related to finance, healthcare, transportation, and education, and does not deal with highly sensitive or classified information. Moreover, the tech companies are contractually forbidden from denying service to any particular entities of the Israeli government. Agree completely, man. But like crabs in a bucket, everyone pulls each other back in. Well, because that's what we've been taught by the J establishment that runs our system. They don't do that. You know? They don't do that. This isn't our natural inclination to do that. We're definitely not fucking crabs. We're so much better than this. And it's that secret. It's you know, this is why so many people walk around depressed. At least that's the word they use. Most people don't realize they're not depressed. They're fucking angry. They're mad. They hate the way things are. They hate these like, you know, you can say you're oblivious, but even something like my feed, right? Well, you can't be oblivious anymore. So once you're no longer oblivious, then you kind of feel like helpless. Like, well, okay, I am in this situation, but what can I do about it? And that doesn't cause depression. That causes anger. When you're stuck in a situation that's horrible and you can't make it yourself, you know, that's not, oh, I'm so sad about it. It fucking makes you mad. You know, if your foot's stuck in the quicksand, you don't go, oh man, my foot's stuck. I guess that's it. I'm depressed now and I can't do anything. Wah, wah. No, you panic, you get mad, you pull your shit out. And that's what we should be doing with all of this, but we're not supposed to. And the reality is, like, it's that reality that we don't want to face. The reality is, we should be better off. We're just not. You know, when Israel, a country of 9 million people, maybe closer to 10 by now, is given $3.8 billion of our tax money every year, at the very least. That's not like, oh man, that sucks. Oh, I'm depressed now. No, it's like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Why are we giving them our money? Think if it was any other country. If it was anybody else that we were just like openly giving everything to and they were murdering and just everything associated with it. It's disgusting. Although Project Nimbus's specific mission has not yet been revealed. Google Cloud Platform's AI tools could give the Israeli military and security services the capability for facial detection, automated image categorization, object tracking, and sentiment analysis, tools that have previously been used by U.S. Customs and Border Protection for border surveillance. Why? And this idea of this $1.2 billion contract, who do you think pays for that? The Israelis are paying for anytime you hear of any sort of weapons sale or technology sale or anything like that to Israel, understand it's not really a sale. We've given them the money and then they give us that whatever amount of money back. There's no sale there. I don't think that necessarily, but like crabs in a bucket, everyone has animalistic part that's in everyone, and anybody has the capacity to do so is simply doing actions only for oneself. Yeah, but that's what we've been taught. You know, the whole idea of Christianity, right? There's a reason why they've pushed Christianity on the Goyim so much. Christianity's disguise is that it's all about the absence of ego and submission and but it's not that. There's nothing more arrogant than believing there's such a thing as God's plan. God has a plan for everything. And that you can put to that God of the universe, and the God of the universe will change its mind. It has a plan. The plan is forever. It's a forever plan. It's always been in existence, and it always will blah, 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 kind of stupid shit. But your arrogant ass thinks you can get God to change its mind. And that's what I'm talking about. We get it. You're an edgy atheist. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, you're a dumb Christian. And clearly you can't make any arguments opposing what I say, so then you say dumb shit. That's what Christians do. I'm talking about your belief structure. This is what you guys say. You guys say it's God's plan. God has a plan. God's plan. God's plan. That's your guys' bullshit. I don't believe that bullshit. Not about being edgy. It's about being right. If you're dumb enough to think that there's actually a God up there listening, like, I always have the same questions for you, and those are the things you don't want to answer. See, the thing is, most people, that's how my wife does it. She doesn't like what I'm saying. If she doesn't like what I'm saying, then she acts like I'm saying something that's wrong, and how dare I say this thing? It's like, it's the truth. You might not like it, but it's the truth. And if you don't like it, then let's fix it. Let's work on it. Let's change it. Let's not hide from it. I mean, it's you would think if religion, if God was real, if blah, 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 you would think that they would be able to have a better conversation. And yet, here we go again. Problem with you is, if you were king, you would ban Christianity. Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't get there, like it wouldn't be first and foremost, we'd ban the Jays. We'd ban Jayism. But yes, we would ban stupid cults used to control us. Again, the problem being, you can't make the argument for why Christianity should still exist. Right? You can't make the argument for why this thing is better than it is. I'm just the bad guy for saying it. But it's not like Christianity's the bad guy for raping children. You don't want to acknowledge that, like, the God that allows that to happen, especially in its house, where its representatives are the most guilty of this shit in the world. Like, why would you want to believe in that God? Why would anyone want to believe in a God that allows children to be raped? Does nothing, does literally nothing about it. If anything, the whole God idea, belief, is what protects those people. Because your average everyday Christian won't call out the pastor, won't call out the cardinal, won't call out the clergyman that's doing the thing. They won't call out the organization that continuously protects the people who fucking rape children. Some people would do you can argue, think you can be a good person without Christianity, but I think any person has the capability to do evil on any side. When you look at the worst things done in the world and in history, it's done by Christians and Jays. The Jays who are pulling the strings and getting the Christians to do, but it's Christians. Christians write God Bless America on bombs and drop them on people. Drop them on civilian populations. And it's our inability to deal with that shit reasonably. Like, if you rape a child, we don't kill you because God is the only one who gets to decide who lives and dies, kind of bullshit. You think what argument is flawed? You have to be more specific. What argument is flawed? I've said this time and time again. There are many, many bad things that are associated with religion that if we got rid of religion, we'd get rid of those bad things. There are very, very few, if any, good things that are only associated with religion. If we got rid of this religion, then the world would be missing. Come on! Hate this fucking dog. Then the world would be missing these things for, like, we couldn't get them any other way. Whatever peace of mind and all kinds of bullshit you're talking about, like, people can get that if they were taught differently. I have peace of mind and I don't believe in that shit. What of the Battle of Stalingrad or Genghis Khan killing 10% of all humans? Well, first of all, that's you believing in a narrative that you're told. You don't actually know. You don't actually know about Genghis Khan. You don't actually know about any of this bullshit. They just tell you this stuff happened. And usually they tell you this stuff when you try to, accuse them of something. Well, the Jays just killed this man. Yeah, well, they did. Well, Genghis Khan killed 10%, blah, blah. That's the kind of bullshit that you get. But it's just that we're at different points. You're at a point where I was a long time ago. Hopefully you can get to the point where I am. You make the exact point I try to make to people. Well, that's because it's a truthful point. Like, if it was some sort of fantasy, some sort of made up bullshit, then we wouldn't be saying the same things to people. But it's especially when you're saying the thing that goes against the grain. But like I say, we're in different places. Like, have you watched Hollywoodism? Anybody talking to me? Have you watched Hollywoodism? And if not, why not? Why haven't you watched? The only thing I've told you guys is a necessity. Like, there are plenty of things, 200 proof, the earth is not a spinning ball, a rich man's trick to some extent. Like, there's a lot of things out there that you should watch and that are good sources of information. But Hollywoodism, to me, is the only thing that you need to watch. Because it once you watch and understand Hollywoodism, that opens the door to understanding other things. Hollywoodism is the link that I put into this at the end of every one of my videos in the description. I leave you guys a link to a movie called Hollywoodism. Hollywoodism was made in 96 or 98, something like that. It was released. And it's about how the Jays control Hollywood. Like, it's one of these things where if I made Hollywoodism and I used white people or people of color, if we made the exact same movie and instead of saying we, I said them, or the people of color that I hired said them, it would get panned. It would be called this anti-Semitic tropes, and this is just a horrible blah, blah, blah. Everybody, all the Jays would have this huge problem with it. But that's the beauty of it. They made it. They made they are every star in the movie or in the documentary, every person that speaks, the directors, the film crew, the writers, every single person involved is Jay. So there is no hiding behind, oh, well, that's the anti-Semitism. They put it out there that not only did they control Hollywood, but they've used that control of Hollywood to manipulate the American public into being who we think they think we should be. You know, the television in Hollywood is the most powerful weapon ever created. And they use it to the fullest. In this universe we exist in, for there to be good, there must be evil. Each person is given free will, and yes, things such as rape happen a lot in the corrupt world, but in this corrupt world, we all have the options to do evil. I mean, what the fuck? What is this argument? You're not making an argument. You're just saying some shit. Yeah, every person is capable of good or bad, whether or not they're associated with any religious ideology. Yeah, that's just like a given. That's like a, okay, so how does that excuse what's happening? How does that excuse a cult where everybody in that cult believes themselves to be superior to everyone not in the cult? Why do I need to read all of it? It's that you keep saying the same shit. You're saying that everybody is capable of good and bad. Got it. That doesn't mean anything. Yes, there's many acts of kindness. Who gives a fuck? What does that have to do with anything? That shows you that humanity is one thing. The religious control is a whole different thing. Those are evildoers and hypocrites. What are you talking about? Evildoers and hypocrites. What you call evil, other people call it's your definition of it. You know, and you could say, oh, you shouldn't kill people. Well, what if those people rape children? Then we shouldn't kill them. We should just lock them up in prison and everybody has to pay for their existence for the rest of our lives, or for the rest of their lives, or at least for the couple years that they're put away. I'm talking about acts of good. They are both equally valid points. You're talking about acts of evil. You're talking stupid. Again, good and evil are just four-letter sounds that we make to cover a wide range of emotions and actions. What certain people think is good, other people would say that's bad. What are you talking about? You're trying to deny that we should get rid of these cults because people do good and bad things. Like, it's just stupid. I don't understand the argument you're making. Yes, people do good and bad things. What the fuck does that have to do with our allowing a control scheme that is inherently fucking awful? A cult. If you read the rest of my longer comments, no, I did. Your comments are people are capable of doing good and bad things in a corrupt world and blah, blah. What does that have to do with it? You're just making stuff. You are going off topic. No, I'm not. I'm the one that creates the topic, not you. But see, this is that thing where you're not going to be able to admit you're wrong here. So because you're not going to admit you're wrong, or you don't have more of an argument, you're just going to start saying dumb shit, I guess. But this is how this works. You can't disrespect me. This belief people have that they can hurt my feelings or it doesn't work that way. I don't allow that to happen. You are saying rape is bad, and if God allows rape, he is evil. Yes? What? Why do you have to make your own argument? That's when people can't make a reason about what you're saying, they start creating their own narrative. God doesn't exist. No God equals no morality. Who says dumb shit? Like, that's a person that you don't want to be anywhere near, right? Because if for any reason that person finds out that religion isn't real, apparently they're going to lose their moral compass and they're going to start doing horrible shit because there's no God. Like, what kind of stupid thought process is that? In a world without God, there is no excuse for all the rapists. And whenever I say excuse, I mean excuse as in defining. Again, this is just more of your arrogant nonsense. You like the guy that ties his woman up to a tree and beats her with a 2x4 because she has offended God and will bring shame to the family. You can't tell me that you love your wife more than he does because he would do that to her. He's willing to cause an incredible amount of pain and all that because he loves his wife so much. That's that's just fucked up, stupid, religious bullshit, but that's what it is. What kind of stupid thought process you have? Who sets your morality? Why do you need some outside source to set your morality? Like, I just don't understand that. And my morality says any organization that continuously helps and protects pedophiles needs to go. But I guess your morality is better than mine because you continue to ignore that shit, right? Nobody said morality and atheism. Yeah, the guy above you did. The guy above you said no God equals no morality. Can you imagine being that psychotic? You think a nothing, an unprovable nothing, sets your morality. And like I say, I would hate to be around that person. I would never want to hang out with that person even a little bit. Just in that off chance that it dawns on them that there's no God, and then they what? Start killing people? Like, it's just stupidity. I don't even get it. That's the exact type of morality you're describing. Different groups in the world have different social norms. Exactly. So what you consider moral and morale and all that doesn't, that's your arrogance. Those people's idea of morality is that a woman needs to be covered up from head to toe. And if she's not covered up from head to toe, well, that's bad. So are those people bad? Are those people bad? Any person sets morality with atheism and no God. I mean, when was the last time an atheist went around shooting people? Considering how much they like to make atheism the bad guy, you know, they want everybody to think along that stupid line that if you don't believe in Sky Daddy, something's wrong with you. When was the last time an atheist was found out to be a prominent child molester or a school shooter or something like that? Like 100% of the time, those are Christians. Many people need a higher power. It's just the way they're wired. No, they don't. They're just programmed that way. They're programmed to think they need a higher power. But the reality is they don't. And they don't follow that bullshit. Let's go. Are you serious right now? I hate this talk so much. People should just be good. Exactly. Exactly. You should treat other people the way you want to be treated. That's pretty simple. That doesn't require some Sky Daddy morality. Who dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japanese? Jews through using Christianity. It wasn't atheists. Reality is you need some better brain. Yeah, that's a smart thing to say. I asked you to prove to me rape and murder is bad. Dude, you just answered, you just said your everything. I don't even need to say anything. Like the Japanese wouldn't have dropped it on us if they had one at the time. Well, we didn't, that's not true. The whole concept of nukes, and that shit's just not true. That's a narrative that was given to us. You know, Nagasaki and Okinawa were carpet bombed. They had lots of bombs dropped on them. The whole atomic bomb thing is just more bullshit, more scare tactic, more propaganda bullshit. Not real. Through atheism, prove that rape is bad. I can't, like, you people are sick. What would, like, the idea that somebody is either passed out or they're saying no and they don't want you doing it, what would God have to do with that? Like, again, our prison is full. Our prisons are full of Christians, not atheists. Rapists continuously are Christians, not atheists. God said it's bad, and he said to respect women. Where? Please, show me that passage that you're talking about. You literally believe you can do whatever you want, including rape and murder. Can you imagine being this stupid? Like, this is typical Christian stupidity, right? Typical stupid Christians have to make up their own crazy bullshit in order to make an argument because they can't argue against the things that are being said. Like, it's fucking stupid. Of course, I don't believe that. Of course, but that's what this dumbass needs to say. He needs to say these things because he can't make a reasonable argument. You argue with about the sky being blue. Well, you mean the sky appearing blue to us during the daytime, right? Because you know it's not actually blue, but okay. Through society agreement that we don't want our women and children assaulted, it's bad. I mean, clearly, that's not even a societal agreement. It's personal, from person to person. But, like, this is, like I said, these are the people you don't want to be around. Because if they find out that there's no God, apparently this asshole is going to start raping and murdering people. The only thing that prevents him from raping and murdering people is the thought that God's going to be upset about it, which the Bible doesn't even say anything. Genesis say that, but let's find out. Let's find out. See, this is that thing where you guys make accusations, make statements, and we'll figure it out. 1:27. So God created mankind in his own... That's not true. That's not what it says. Let's see. I don't want the New International Version. I want the King James Version. The KJV. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. Yeah, that doesn't say anything. You're just wrong. Belch. You're making too much sense to me today. I should probably head out early. Well, yeah. You definitely should. Everything I said was correct, yet your argue about that's kind of self-right. What are you talking about? Like, again, this crybaby idea that I'm supposed to agree with you. Instead of you making a secondary argument, I'm just supposed to agree with your first argument. You know how stupid that sounds? I can name more. Well, you need to, because the one you said was your evidence that God said treat women right is wrong. He literally said God is not real and doesn't provide any logical or factual proofs. How do you prove something isn't real? It's not up to me to prove the thing isn't real. It's up to you to prove it is. And your only argument is what came first, the chicken or the egg. That's the only thing you can ever come up with. That's not a proof of God. That's just a question. And it's easily answered. You know, if it's manufactured, whichever one they chose to manufacture first. You're just wrong. Now somebody's going to say, you need Jesus. No, I don't. Because Jesus is what rapists constantly have. Jesus is what murderers have. Jesus is a nothing. It's a fake bullshit story given to you by the Jays to control you. Genesis states how women and men are equal and it defines their dignity and worth. You keep saying that, but where? You want it to say that, so you're going to pretend like it does, but it doesn't. I wish wolves in sheep clothing didn't exist so this man could be a Christian. I wish you could make a better argument so I could be a Christian. Why? Do you understand how stupid this is? Like, the fact is, you don't know about what you're talking about. And because you don't know, because of your ignorance, you continue to believe shit that you don't accept any other way. You don't think the Muslims are right. You know, the problem, and it's weird because you would think for you to believe in something, you would think you would be able to make better arguments. The day I say I believe in something, but then I can't make reasonable arguments for it, like that's a sad, sad day. If we are animals according to you, yep, that's what I said. Look at how this dumbass has to keep making up his own arguments. If that doesn't say everything to you, again, I don't know what you're looking at. The fact that this doofus has to keep saying that, according to you, you said this, and I didn't say that. But this is the dumbass shit that this guy has to say. If we are animals, according to you, then it's okay to fill our desires the way we want. Well, again, if you desire to rape and kill, you got some fucked up shit going on. Like, what kind of dumbass is this? It's sad how they ruined it for him. Who are you even talking to at this point? This is what always happens. when Christians can't actually make arguments, then they start making up their own shit and start talking to the comment section because they're looking for some validation. And they know they're not going to get it from me, so they're hoping somebody in the comments validates their bullshittery. Exactly, then how are you saying he is not real? I don't even know what the fuck this guy's talking about. But he has free will at the end of the day. You just want to see here. Look at these dumbass comments. Am I talking to a bunch of children? What proof do you want? What's your criteria? Just proof. Just proof. Prove it. Show me somehow it's real. Show me something. Like, I know the history of why you believe in God. Do you? Most of you don't even understand that your shit is Jewish. Christianity comes out of Second Temple Judaism. It's fake, but you don't like it. Jesus Christ, how many times is this James Dixon gonna keep crying? You just want to argue. You don't care if it's right or wrong. You just want to argue. Because again, he said something that I didn't just agree with, so now he's having a temper tantrum. What a weird fucking... It's so weird. It's weird, but it's super telling to me that I can go live talking about how fucking fake and stupid Christianity is, and Christians do nothing but prove my point. Chicken or egg. You remind me of blah, 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 blah. You keep saying Genesis. I've read Genesis. On here, we read Genesis. It's dumb. And you were supposed to give the lines that validate what you're saying, your claims. You're the one claiming something, but then you can't back it up. Oh, yummy down, dude. How do you prefer your guys to look? You like your guys with short hair? Is that what it is? You like your guys to have short hair, and you like it more like you? You like it more blondish? How do you like your dudes to look? I have my KJV Bible right here, yeah, and you still can't come up with anything. I'm just trying to have a chill debate. I'm not insulting you. Again, this idea of calm down. I'm not upset, but you keep making up whatever narratives you need to. He either said A before dying or B or C. He can't say three things before he died. What? Oh, so stupid. After the Council of Nicaea, they made women subservient in the Bible, but the Old Testament is just selected parts of the Torah. Again, the issue being you believe the narrative. Oh yeah, that's what you were saying. You thought you were going to be smart by bringing up historical shit like Genghis Khan. And when I didn't say, oh, you're right, Genghis Khan, I said, well, how do you know about Genghis Khan other than because the Jays told you to? You can't handle that. And you would think, like, again, you would think that it would dawn on you. You would think when it's shoved in your face that you can't actually, you don't know these things. These are just stories you're told. You would go, hey, wait a minute. You know what? That is true. I never saw Genghis Khan. I wasn't at the battle of this or that. I wasn't in this. I didn't do that. All I know is what they told me. And how do I know that's true? They lie to me about everything else. Why do I choose to believe this? Oh, Jesus, give that. If Jesus could give my ponytail a tug and whisper in my ear, there would be the proof. Nope, nothing. Oh, you are expressing the ad hominem facility. Yep. You guys only know about ad hominem because of me, so shut up. You won't accept any proof. You don't provide any proof. Dude doesn't answer a single question and stuff. Yep, I don't answer any questions. Gotcha. It seems like you do because you are insulting people. I can't, like I said, you guys can't insult me. If what I'm saying is insulting you and I'm talking about your beliefs, it's you. It's not me. You know, if you had more confidence, more knowledge in what you had to say, then you wouldn't be insulted. You're insulted by your own stupidity. And that's such a common thing. People argue their own shit. They don't argue logically. James isn't wrong. You seem to need to, some argue, blah, 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 blah. Yep. I need to argue it's all me because I don't just believe what random dumb people say. Like, you would think you'd be able to do this better. You would not say that to my face. I would actually absolutely say everything to your face. You're a dumb bitch. In a heartbeat, I would call you a dumb bitch to your face. I'm definitely not scared of the fucking goofy ass troll. You wouldn't say that to my face. See? They always get, good old Christian. Immediately, I'm going to fight you now. I want to fight now. You're saying things I don't like. I'm going to fight you. Meh. Fucking clowns. Oh, I never saw Arizona. I've been told it's real. Right. Well, you can go see Arizona, you dumbass. If you actually felt like doing it, you could go to Arizona. But guess what? I've been to Arizona. I can prove Arizona exists because I've been there. But see, these are the arguments that dumb Christians make, thinking it makes me look wrong. When they don't, it's killing your argument, dumbass. Yours is the argument that's being destroyed by your stupidity. He's gonna argue over. This dude is comparing God to Arizona. This dude is saying that Arizona and God are the same thing. What a dumbass. You tell me your criteria, blah, blah, blah. Stupid. So I have to tell you exactly what to say because you can't just come up with something reasonable. Gotcha. You want to see God come down? Sure. I want to see any evidence of God. Anything. You're cute when you're angry, yeah. Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, you've already admitted you like dudes. So we know God isn't going to like you very much. Maybe if you're trying to spread the truth, be nicer. Oh, yes. Yes, I should be nicer. You want somebody to coddle you a little bit? You want more coddling? Right? Because you guys come here with nice intentions all day. You know, if the average Christian acts like, like you're in the wrong for pointing out their pedophile supporters. We don't care when random, yep. Obviously you care about what the random YouTuber says if you're here every day. Like this is the stupidity that I just don't understand. How are people dumb enough to say these things? The people that come here every day and beg for my attention, then pretend like it doesn't matter what you don't care, you're just some dumb YouTuber. Well then, obviously it matters to you, but you're too dumb to see that. Playing victim after insulting God and believer. Again, the idea that you think it's insulting to point out how comically powerless and useless and fake your God is. But if it was real, it sure would allow some pretty shitty things to happen. Yeah, you're one of these people that I just need to stop talking to because you're stupid. And I just get drug into these stupid ass, well, if we're all animals, then we should be able to do our desires how we want. So acknowledging that this dude has, desires to rape people and kill people. Like, that's fucking sick. You should really watch yourself on your phone. You may be surprised. No, I have, and I'm always, I'm confident in everything I'm saying, and I'm even more confident in how stupid you guys are. Especially someone like you, who again comes here every day. For what reason? Like, if I ask any of you guys, why do you even come here every day? No one asks you to come here every day. If you have an issue with what I'm saying, and you're not able to have the reasonable conversation, why do you keep coming back? Why do you constantly try to disrupt the feed that's saying we should get rid of the pedos and get rid of the J control scheme? How come you don't address what I'm saying? You just want to talk about your own bullshit. If you're a Christian, would Jesus want you insulting him? Exactly. And wanting to fight? Oh, you wouldn't say that to my face. Like, that's how hypocritical and stupid all of these people are. You know, they don't even know what their shit says. The one dude says, I've got the King James. You said you have the King James Bible sitting right in front of you. When I ask you to validate your claims that the Bible says we should treat women with respect and all this other shit, you think all it would, you just point out the verse. Give me the passage. I already showed you that I'll read it. But you don't. And I'm supposed to take you seriously? I know more about your shit than you do. I'm in Arizona now, overrated. No, you're not. No, and that's the same thing as God, blah, blah, blah. Arizona's hot as fuck. Now he's doing lines in front of us. Yes, I'm doing lines. See? Do you understand how desperate and stupid James Dixon is? He's so stupid, he thinks that someone blowing their nose is them doing lines. Like obviously you don't know what doing lines is. You know, if you heard then you could say lines. But blowing noses is pretty obviously what it is. Blah, blah, blah. Not even bothering anymore. You are proving his argument right by flaring up. We are imperfect beings. But brother, you are pushing him further from Christ. You cannot push me further from Christ. Like, again, this desperate need for this. At least this is actually a reasonably, like, accurate Christian. You know, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. Like, at least this one Christian is sort on it, but this guy doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about at the same time. You are cartoons, we talk back to. Yup, that's what it is. No, you're a dumbass Muslim, right? Isn't that what you said? You're a dumb fucking Muslim? Really? Did Mama say life was like a box of chocolates too? It's fun to watch you and see your opinion and who's begging for your attention. You are. You are. Consistently coming here and commenting is begging for attention. If I was wrong, you just leave. Like, the reality is, you guys could literally be doing anything else in the world. If you were financially capable, you could be fucking surfing, you could be flying somewhere, you could be whatever. But you could be watching anything else. You could be on you could be watching porn and jerking off. You could be doing anything else right now. And instead, you guys choose to be here and beg me to pay attention to you. It's because the truth is sexy. You don't have a reasonable conversations entertainment. You don't have a reasonable conversations entertainment. Yeah, for sure. You single, huh? You single, huh? I think we just figured out who's going to be ignored now. Bible says women should shave their heads if not covered. Where? Where does it say that? I'm lying and I know it, huh? About what part now? Snuggy J, what's up? He's proof that the ability to speak doesn't make you intelligent. Good job. Wait. Oh, so now we're going back. So first it was Genesis 1:27. Now it's Deuteronomy 22, 25, 29. All right, let's try that. Deuteronomy 22, 25, 29. Let's see what this one says. Then the man that lay with her shall give her unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her, and may not put her away all his days. Oh man, that sounds really nice. That sounds really nice. So he bought his wife, and because they're exchanging shekels, then you know it's J stuff. So this is more J stuff. But hey, you know, oh look, the Dirt Rider made a second profile to be here. Look at that. Because I'm so wrong, and I'm so, misguided and all that this person needed to make a second fake profile to be here. Interesting how that works. It just takes you a long time, blah, blah, blah. Yep, that's what it is. I wish I had 50 shekels. 50 shekels would be like $10. $15 maybe. But see, this is where common sense and logic comes in, and you guys don't like that part. When the money is in shekels, that tells you what you need to know. But you want to skip over that part. And literally, this guy just said that would be the verse that shows how equal, that women should be treated equally and all this other bullshit. How fascinating is that? Is that? Man, you would think it would be a lot easier to find the Bible passage that says treat women with respect and treat women good. God, why is that so hard to find? Only you are saying, I bury her, and I'm spending my free time as I whisper. I'm trying to bring someone to Christianity. It may seem silly to you. Yeah, to Christ. Well, it is silly. Because instead of answering for what I'm saying, you keep coming up with shit that doesn't prove to be accurate. That should tell you something. Like, you just made I didn't know about Deuteronomy, blah, 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 paying 50 shekels to the father, blah. I didn't know about that verse. It's not my fault you're not coming with better stuff. You need to come with better stuff. What a terrible conversation, right? I'll stick with schmeckles instead of shekels. You want dicks instead? Nice. Oh, the hobo's here to say the same dumb shit it always says. Yes, the Holocaust that we're told happened did not happen. This guy says it like it's supposed to be an insult. Like, I'm not proud of it. I am proud to be a Holocaust denier. I'm proud of it. Why do you think you're not allowed? Why do you think the idea of questioning something is supposed to be a bad thing? Right? Just think about that. That's them saying, if you deny anything that we're saying, that's a bad thing. Like, that's crazy. The fact is, it's illegal in some countries to even talk about it. If it's true, you don't do that. When you have truth, you scream it from your lungs. You scream it from the top of the mountains. I have the truth. Pay attention. Yet, that's not how the Bible works. You can truly wish, oh, like, this is so dumb. So, like, this is another reason why I have such a hard time with Christians. Because the Christian says something, then gets proven wrong, and doesn't say, oh shit, I was wrong about that. They just start going into, I wish you would come to Christ one day. I understand that you may not, and that's okay, but nevertheless, it strengthens my faith. And it strengthens your faith that you can't make any reasonable arguments, that you're wrong about everything you're saying. How does that strengthen your faith? It's so, I mean, I guess, yeah, it does. It has to. It has to strengthen your faith because faith isn't real. Faith is what you have in the absence of logic, in the absence of reason, in the absence of intelligence. Then you have faith. Well, I know that doesn't make sense, and I know that we experience the exact opposite, but I have faith it's true because I'm an arrogant dick. That's what it means. You're just this arrogant dickhead. Guy is an anti-Semitic Holocaust denier. Quite sad. See, again, this is a person who has been here for, quite some time, who's still so dumb that they say the wrong thing. Anti-Semitic is a racist term. It's you being opposed to a group of people. And although the Jays like to think they own everything, they don't own the term Semitic. Semitic refers to all of the people of that region. Black people, white people, brown people, Palestinians, Syrians, Lebanese, Yemenis, Egyptians, the North African stuff. These are all Semitic people. They come from the Semitic region. So when somebody says anti-Semitic, again, they're just pointing to their own stupidity. Me, I'm proud of my anti-Semitism because Semitism is supremacy. Semitism is a policy or predisposition favorable to the Jays. That is supremacy. To say that policy, the rules and regulations, along with predisposition, along with how you go into it thinking, is going to be favorable to any group, is supremacist. But see, this guy is a really, really, really stupid person. And because they're so limited and they can only make arguments to what they are, like, again, it's just another example of you making arguments that you can argue. You don't argue against me and what I say because you can't. You can't, you cunt. Conversation, not conversation. Conversion, not conversation, brother. Love your conversations. And give the woman, upon marriage, their bridal gifts graciously. The Horan. Oh! Give the woman the gifts graciously. That means treat women with respect. Because we all know the Muslims do nothing but respect women, right? This dumbass going to start quoting the Quran like it matters. There are no atheists in a foxhole. Yeah, there are. But to say that if you're in a foxhole, if you're in a desperate situation and you're trying not to die, that you wouldn't try everything you can to get out of it, yeah, that's understandable. You know where else there aren't any atheists? There aren't any atheists in the Vatican continuously raping children. But you don't want to hear that part, right? You don't want to address that part, right? Dude, why are you so obsessed with children being raped? I have the same contrary opinions towards you. It's how a debate goes. Two sides. No, but see, I make the conversation. I make arguments. I address the things you say, debunk what you say, And then instead of you going back at me, you changed topics. Remember, first you said it was Genesis 1:27. Then you said it was just Genesis. Then you said it was Deuteronomy, blah, 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 which turned out to not be it. Like, you just keep jumping. You don't address that you're wrong. Faith proves fear or loyalty to God. Why would you fear God? I'm so grateful that you said that. Why would anyone want to worship something they fear? You fear God? Why? Because you wouldn't want God to get mad at the people again for having too good a time and wipe out the earth? And then we can all end up being the offspring of one family having sex with each other? Come on. Stupid dog. Scratches on the door that he wants to come in. Open the door, he walks away. Oh. I have been in a foxhole. Sure you have. I believe anything you say. You're all sick. Exactly. Exactly. It's sick. It's mental sickness. We're talking about a sickness. And what do you do with sickness? You just let it go and just stay sick, or do you try to cure the sickness? It's insane. It's in the desperation these people have to try to justify the rape and murder and all that shit, make it sound like it's okay. It's fucking nuts. It's just hard to have a very complex conversation through this type of chat. No, you actually have the advantage here, right? Because you're the one that gets to take all the time you need and write out whatever you need to write out. Make sure it's spelled correctly. And you could make whatever point you want to make. We don't get to hold you accountable for the fact that you're not answering questions or you're whatever you're doing. We don't get to see your face when you hear something that you can't answer for. We don't we don't get to see any of that. With me, I'm under the gun here. You know, if you guys say something that shocks me or that stumbles me or whatever, you're going to see it. No matter what kind of lie I try to spin because I'm such a liar, you're going to see it. You have all of the advantage here. And whenever you switch topic between points, it creates convolution. You make it create. Yep. Yeah, because you can't have a conversation about different aspects of the same thing. We're not talking about like Jesus and then which is better, chocolate or vanilla, and then how tall is the Empire State Building, and we're not, what's your favorite sports team? We're not doing that shit. We're talking about the same thing. One sec, Muslim brother. I can't pronounce your name. God, it's so sad, man. It's so crazy that people think that they need this bullshit. It would be one thing if I could say, okay, so you have things like the Vatican, you have things like churches and shit that are tax-free, so they just make money hand over fist, where you have virgins telling people how to deal with their marital issues or how to deal with their virgins who have all of their bills and shit taken care of are telling normal people how to live their lives, pay their bills, all that shit. Make sure you give money to the church. Like, it's really fucking crazy that you don't see what's wrong with that. And I'm sure you do see what's wrong with that. You just don't like it. You know funny? Speaking of your funny little God and how your God thinks of women, let's talk about Timothy, 1 Timothy 2:11. You know what 1 Timothy 2:11 says? Let me find it for you. God, my wife sends me tons of shit. 1 Timothy 2:11 says, "Let a woman learn in silence with full submission. I permit no woman to teach or to have authority over a man. She is to keep silent." 1 Timothy 2:11. New Testament shit. You don't like that though, right? You don't like that part. You know. The fact is, like I say, the idea that the church has all this tax-free status, has all this power to decide how votes go, and you know, they don't get arrested when they should, and they're allowed to just siphon money from people, needy people, spreading lies. You would think if I said, well, give me some good stuff that's only associated with the church, you would have a bunch of things to justify such favoritism, such, you know, so many concessions given to this one organization that the average person doesn't have. You know, you get caught fucking with kids, you don't get moved to another place so you can fuck with more kids, and then if you get caught, you get sent to the Vatican so you can live your life in paradise without getting in trouble. You get caught fucking with kids, you go to fucking prison, man. You get in trouble. It only expresses how when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, the man... No, that's not what it says. The man is the leader of the household. See, I love how Christians love to pretend like the Bible is the word of God. But when that word of God isn't exactly what they want it to be, then they go, oh, well, let me interpret it how I want to interpret it. No. Let the woman learn in full submission. I permit no woman authority over a man. She is to keep silent. That means the man is the head of the household. That's all. That's all that is. It's fucking goofy, man. It means that women are not supposed to lead a church. No, it doesn't. It's pretty literal what it means. It's pretty literal. But hey, again, you're just trying desperately to come up with shit to make it not sound as bad as it is. But it's that bad. You know? It's that bad. That's how your belief structure is. And it's really dumb, especially when it comes to Genesis. When it comes to the whole creation story, it's just stupidity. You know what I think is funny? How many Christians also believe in the James Webb Space Telescope? Also believe in, you know, that we're on a ball flying through space in the sun and we revolve around the sun. Their Bible, the very first thing their God does in Genesis, fucking 1:2 or 1:5 or whatever it is, after the face of God is going over the waters of the deep, God makes the indestructible dome, the firmament, separating the waters of heaven from the earth down below, blah, 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 blah. The Bible clearly says, you know, the four corners of the earth and all this shit. The Bible clearly says you don't live on a... Why didn't Jesus come down and be like, oh, by the way, you're just one planet in a sea of fucking planets and stars, and every one of those lights in the sky has other planets around it, and you're on this giant ball that's spinning around at 1,000 miles per hour and going around the sun. It's actually going around the sun, not the sun the other way. It's going around the sun. How come Jesus didn't say any of that shit? Describe the way it is because humankind was not that advanced, so simpler terms needed... So because humanity wasn't advanced enough, you know, like they were prior to 1900. So all of the time before that, where we supposedly didn't have technology, we didn't have vehicles, we didn't have all that shit, we just weren't able to comprehend it, huh? Although the only reason why the round earth is a thing is because the scientific authority of the day, the church, accepted it. Why would the church have gone against God's word? I kind of have to rush around both debates. You know. You haven't made a single argument for the idea that women are supposed to be treated well. You've had over an hour to do so, and you just haven't. As far as the shape of the earth goes, it's right in the beginning, right at the start. Right? But again, you just don't, it's just stupidity. It's just, the thing is, this is where, again, your stupidity, your immaturity, your unreasonable, illogical brain doesn't understand. You are stupid by design. You believe stupid things. It's stupid to believe that there is some sort of sky daddy up there looking down, gonna smite those who don't do what they're supposed to do. This insecure, powerless piece of shit up there desperately needs you to pray for him, pray to him. Give your thanks. Oh, thank you, God, for this food that I worked hard for. I worked hard to drive, to get the car that I could drive to the place where I worked hard. Got the money that instead of spending on other shit, I spent on the bills in order to maintain the house I live in, the electricity to power the refrigerator and the lights, the gas to heat the stove. And then I cooked the meal in the pots and pans that I worked hard to pay for, that somebody else worked hard to manufacture, that somebody cooking the food that somebody else worked hard to procure for me. But what I'm going to do is thank God. I always ask Christians, like, why don't you do this? Let's prove the experiment. Let's do an experiment. How about this? How about you stop going to work, stop taking care of your shit, and just pray that God feeds you every day. See how that works out. Dude, get in the house. Rolly, come on. OCD ass fucking weird dog. Come on. Good boy. Jesus Christ, you're retarded. That's not living godly, though. Now what? I think Acts 2:22 is simply saying that Jesus performed miracles and is undeniably a prophet. He is. What are we talking about? Now you're bringing up something else? Let's see. What is Acts 22? Acts is one of the dumbest. Everything Jesus says in the Bible is fucking stupid. He's a whiny little bitch. What? My dad is God. You better worship me like you worship him. If you don't, it's meh. It's fucking insane. It's insane. To live godly, you must work a job and you must be productive in your home life. Says where? Where? Where does it say these things? You keep making these assertions and you're some expert on this and you want me to be closer to Christ, but you don't have any fucking answers. Let's see, Acts 2:22. Let's see. I love it, man. When they keep giving me stupid shit. Oh, here we go. Ye men of Israel. Oh, we start with some of this. Hear these words. Jesus of Nazareth, a man approved of God among you by miracles and wonders and signs, which God did by him in the midst of you, as ye yourselves also know. What? Oh, it's so stupid, man. Oh, it's just so stupid. You Lear? I just got called a liar. Liar. Oh, it's so embarrassing. You obviously haven't read the Bible, says. Why do all of the dumbasses come through and acknowledge they're stupid. Instead of coming in and saying, oh, well, what about this? Or, oh, well, what about that? They come in and just say stupid things. Oh, well, you obviously haven't read the Bible. I've read more than enough of it. Why are you brushing over where Jesus said, I and the Father are one? John. What? Brushing over it? It's nonsense. What? You know what? What's one of those things you guys love to ignore? Right? You guys love to ignore Matthew 24:34, which says, because I don't know my stuff though. Verily I say unto you, no one of this generation shall die before all of these things come to pass. When one of the people asked Jesus about when Revelation sounds really bad. When is this going to happen? So all of you that believe in Revelations, I mean, it's already fucking happened. What the Bible appears to be, I always compare it to The Princess Bride, right? The movie The Princess Bride, you're watching an old man, a grandfather, tell his grandson a story, and you're watching you're watching it like you're a third party person on the outside watching this while watching that, right? If you read the Bible is clearly some J's telling other J's a narrative. It's not like something that they were like, man, in 2025, this book is going to be really relevant. It's not how that works. Everything in the Bible has already supposedly happened. And Revelations is just dumb. There's one part in Revelations where it talks about what Paul, I don't remember which one it is, what he sees, and he talked about how when he gets to into heaven, and he gets to the throne of God. God is sitting on this golden throne, surrounded by rings of creatures, different creatures. And one of those rings of creatures, their entire existence is to sit around God saying, Lord, 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 you are so great. Oh, Lord, 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 everything you do is awesome. And they just keep saying, not those exact words, but it's a phrase along those lines about how great, like this insecure God created some characters to sit around him all day and tell it how great it is over and over again. And that's just one of the rings. There's another ring that does the same thing. All of the disciples died preaching that Jesus was Lord. That proves the prophecy. What? What? Oh my God. Look at this desperation. All right, here we go again. We got another one. Colossians. Never even heard of this bullshit. Colossians 3:23. Let's hear what this fucking nonsense has to say. And it's one line. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men. What the fuck does that have to do with anything we're even talking about? It's just hilarious that the metaphors, yep, they're metaphors. See, this is how dumb someone is. The Bible is not supposed to be metaphors. It's supposed to be word for word accurate. God, fucking Christians are stupid, man. I've never seen Jesus' face. The idea that the story proves the story. Duh. I'm not debating with you. I'm talking to an Islamic guy. Sure. You just said something stupid. You said that the prophets all died worshiping him, so that proves the prophecy true. You're talking about, well, Spider-Man saved Mary Jane a bunch of times, so that means Spider-Man is true. There's a guy, Spider-Man, he's out there. It's dumb. It's just dumb. And of course, you're going to engage with the guy in the chat and not the guy doing the video, because the guy doing the video keeps roasting you. You don't want to do that. Like, it's embarrassing. And like I say, you would think for Christianity to have its hold on people the way it does, they would be able to do more. There would be more truthfulness, and, you know, it would be easier to figure things out. If it's true, why is it so complicated? Why is it hidden inside metaphors and all this other shit? Why would you do that? Especially knowing how stupid most people are. You know, I know if I'm God or, you know, the Father, I know in my house, I don't tell my kids riddles to try to figure this out. Figure out what I want you to do through, you know, well, if the floor is covered by a soiled cloth, then the dog will bark incessantly. What's that mean? Well, I'm trying to get vacuum. I thought, like, yeah, but it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't even, yeah, I know. I know. They're going to figure it out, though. Because you're expressing the ad hominem fallacy. Here we go. What ad hominem fallacy? You don't know what ad hominem is. You know, I'm addressing the information given. That's not ad hominem. But that's okay. All you're doing is showing that you pay attention. And if you're paying attention, you know, and what I'm saying hurts you and bothers you, then of course you're going to try to flip it back on me. My wife does that shit to me all the time. All the time. The shit that I say isn't true, but then she'll say the same wordage back to me, and it's like, oh, well, that must be true. Oh. The Quran is just dumb shit. It's so stupid. It's all so stupid. And you ask people, why do you believe in this? And they'll say, oh, because the Quran mentioned black holes. And we didn't know about black holes back then, but we know about them now. So that means the Quran must be true. It's just stupid. I asked the guy one time why he believes in the Quran, and he said, oh, because the Quran is full of miracles. Thousands and thousands of miracles. I said, really? Thousands and thousands? Tell me one. Now, you would think in that situation, the person would go with their very best argument, right? They have the opportunity to prove the point. Give me your best miracle, your best. The train was going down the tracks. The person was tied to the tracks. They gave up, closed their eyes, waited for the train to hit. And when they opened their eyes, they were on the side of the road and the train was passing them. That's some miraculous shit right there. That's things were going in one direction, and the only viable excuse, the only thing that makes sense, is that mystical God came down and affected things. But this guy says, well, let me get you this. So the word man is mentioned 23 times in the Quran. So is woman. And we didn't know back then, but men and women have 23 chromosomes. See, that's proof. That's one of those miracles. That's one of those miracles. He said the word day is mentioned 365 times. You know, the word hour is mentioned 24 times. These are all miracles of the Bible, of the Quran. And it's just stupid shit. You keep making these accusations, and whenever I make accusations towards you, my Islam brother, you never respond. Yeah, isn't it fun when you talk to a religious person because they're stupid and they can't actually have a reasonable conversation? I'm saying that you are not responding to my answers and points. They never do, just like you don't. Just like how instead of acknowledging the things that I'm saying and the accusations and points I've made against you, you started talking to somebody else in the chat. You're literally complaining about the thing you've done. Ready? I'm going to do some more lines, guys. Oh, yeah. Doing all those lines. Or not everything has been explained. My comments for the past half hour have been towards the guy in the comment. I know that. Do you not understand the point I'm making? Like, I don't understand. I don't know how to make these points simpler. More, I don't know how to make it more understandable. I'm trying, and to me, I think it makes sense. I'm giving you an example of what we're talking about. I'm showing you exactly what you said and what you're doing and yada, yada, yada. And instead, you're just like, no, I'm talking to somebody else. Fucking weird, man. The Quran is just as dumb. It's all the same. It's all Abrahamic bullshit. And that's another thing. Like when you really look into it, it's all Abrahamic. They're the 3 Abrahamic religions. It's a pretty well-known belief or idea that they're the 3 Abrahamic religions. Abraham is the father of the Jews. He's the father of the Jewish people is Abraham. So if they're all 3 Abrahamic religions, means they all came from the same source, and that source happens to be the father of one group, and that group happens to believe themselves to be superior, and the other 2 groups are there to service them. Doesn't that wake you up a little bit? It's fascinating, man. It's fascinating how people can be so stupid. If you're watching, don't forget to like, share, sub, do all that stuff, man. It helps. It made, and really, I always hope that people will share this, not with people that will agree with me, but with people who will disagree and have a better ability to make like logical disagreements, and people who actually know their shit. Not people who make goofy claims about goofy verses, and then when those verses aren't true, they just jump to something else. Like I would love it if a rabbi would come through here. How come the Anti-Defamation League hasn't come through here yet? With all the shit that I say and all the shit I talk about, where's the Anti-Defamation League? Where's the J Defense League? Where are any of these organizations that normally target someone like me? Why do you suppose they fear me so much? Because it's fear. It has to be fear. It's the same reason why Odysseus isn't answering, or he keeps going, I'm trying to have a conversation with a guy in the comments, not the guy doing the video. It's fear. You realize the guy that believes in the Quran, at least he believes in something just as stupid as you do. So you guys can have that sort of common ground, that sort of, my sky daddy's better. No, my sky daddy's better. No, my sky daddy's better. But you both believe the same stupidity. When it comes to the guy that doesn't believe in it, you have to back off. You can't get it. You can't engage. What shape is the world, guy? It's not a round ball flying through space. Do I know exactly what it is? No. Are we allowed to find out? No. But I know that if you believe in space and shit like that, you don't believe in your Bible. But the age of the girl that is Muhammad is not debated. Yeah, no, Muhammad was with children, no doubt about it. But see, again, this just goes to show you who we're talking about. If Muhammad was in his 20s or 30s like Jesus, in his 30s, probably, it wouldn't matter if she was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Just because the age of consent is okay doesn't make it okay. That's fucking gross. If you're an adult male and you're going after a teenage girl, especially a young teenage girl, you're fucking sick. They don't even have the right boobs yet. They still have those puffy nipples, and that looks weird. If that's attractive to you, I don't understand it. The world is round. Never mind what your fucking religion says. See, again, you don't want to address me. You can keep addressing me that you're addressing the other person, but you can't address any of the things I'm saying. Never mind your firmament. The firmament, mentioned like 12 or 17 times or something like that in the Bible? Never mind that. You believe it's round. Because you're told to. You have no real reason to believe that way, but you believe it. Who said it's wrong? Who said it's wrong with sleeping with teenagers? Who needs to be told that? Like, that's what you are a disgusting fucking pig. And you use your religion to protect yourself. Because you're a pig. You're a disgusting pig who would kill people, who would rape people, who thinks it's okay to fuck with teenage girls when you're in your 20s and 30s. Like, you're a sick motherfucker. Wow, that is gross. So I gotta look at old, disgusting women. This guy thinks that women over 20 are old and disgusting. Wow. The thing about pedos is if you let them talk long enough, they're going to out themselves, right? There's a reason why pedos don't hang out with normal people, right? Because like if I'm walking down the street and I see some fucking titties, some nice titties walking down the street the other way, I'm going to look. Oh, look at them titties. You're going to see my head turn, you're going to see my eyes turn, and you're going to know what I'm looking at. Well, the pedo doesn't do that. The pedo instead does that when he sees a teenager or a child of some sort. He'll be like, damn. And if the people around him are observant, they'll see that shit and call him out on it. So the pedos have to hang out in their own little circles. And this guy just said everything he needs to say. He thinks women over 20 are old and disgusting. He probably has a tiny penis, which is why he doesn't want his woman to have any other experiences but him, so that she thinks his penis is adequate. That's fucking gross, man. You are a nasty, nasty motherfucker. And like I say, I don't need to say anything else. I don't think he said that. I think it may have been oh, yes, that's what it is. It's misconstrued on my end. He said it, but I misconstrued it. Yeah. Because he's under that pressure, right? He's the one that's live and can't have the dead air, so he has to just respond quicker than he can think. The thing is, I've never said anything like that. Even when I was in my teenage years, I wasn't attracted to teenage girls. I mean, I was, the girls around me, but they didn't compare to women. I couldn't wait to grow up and be with women and their titties and their fucking goods all over the place. Kind of a wild statement, but I think if he explained himself, it would sound better. No. Once you say the thing, you notice how you've never heard me? I'm talking a mile a minute, no script, shooting from the hip. And I've never said anything even close to questionable like that. That's something that guy said once he got comfortable and he forgot to have his defenses up. Now you give him the opportunity to backpedal and say, oh, no. Too late. He's already been outed. That's some disgusting pedo shit. And that's who I continuously tell you is in here fucking with my feed. Who else is going to be here doing that shit? Normal people don't say that shit. Normal people don't need to be told not to kill people, not to rape people, not to sleep with teenage girls. That is fucking nasty. You are a nasty motherfucker. Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. But that's your average Muslim right there, right? That's how Muslims think. That's how they've been taught to think. And to me, I don't think we should have that kind of shit. And you know, the Bible's the same bullshit. The Bible is just the American version of the conspiracy to keep the Goyim fucking stupid and subservient. You should read it. Tupac is a fake fucking manufactured piece of shit. Sorry. Don't do Tupac. Not a Tupac fan. You should go listen to TBG. TBG flat out makes songs calling out pedophiles, talking about how disgusting it is, talking about how bad religion is, calling out the Jays, calling out the genocide, calling out the government. TBG doesn't hide behind. We plenty of metaphors. There's plenty of really great metaphors in there, but not one of them can be misconstrued. Everybody should go get their free download, www.the-bilderberg-group.com. It's free to listen to. We don't require a donation. If you want to donate, by all means, that'd be great. But all we ask is that you share it with someone. Anybody. Oh, shit. Run away from legit questions, blah, blah, blah. Back to the fucking guy who likes teenagers. Hang on a second. It's going to be a minute here. We're going to have to go back and forth. I don't need to insult you. You did it yourself. That's your, so you're like, he's your friend. This guy admits that he finds teenage girls attractive and anything over 20 is disgusting, meaning he fucks with teenage girls, and that's your buddy, huh? Only trying to see what way is the truth. Okay, well then you be honest, and you truthfully look at your Christianity and see what a bunch of shit it is. Just gotta hang out a second. We're having fun here today. Just gotta hang out. Sure, we are brothers, blah, blah, blah. You love both. You love pedophiles, huh? Think about how brainwashed you have to be to say some shit. But again, you've been saying it your whole life if you're a Christian. You know, it's awful. It's awful. The whole idea of love. You know, I love my wife. I love my children. If you need me to tell you I love you to feel better, you're barking up the wrong fucking tree. It's not going to happen. I try to love every person I contact. I'm not perfect and I mess up, but it's okay. We aren't talking about messing up or being imperfect. We're talking about raping children, committing genocide. Are you really that brainwashed? Are you really that unbalanced? Like, how can you, just like you said, there can't be good without evil. How can you have love without hate? How can you have any sort of love, you know, confident, well-balanced love, if you can't even address that you hate things? Hate is okay. I hate pedophiles. I hate genocide, and I'm proud of it. I love every human on the face of the earth. Right. Again, because raping children is no big deal to you. That is fucking crazy, dude. You know, that's crazy in ways I can't even begin to relate to. This guy's asking questions like, what is a child? Ugh. Dude, if you need to be told those things, you're the exact type of psychopath that scares me. I would hate to be around you. You are a horrible, horrible person. You're not like you're a horrible person. Sorry about that. That's a typical Muslim, man. It is. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, man. That is your typical Muslim. That's how they think. And it's fucking gross. And I love all of the struggling crack addicts that cause their family trouble because I know they struggle with their crack abuse, which hurts them. At the end of the day, they're not violating someone else. Yes, that hurts their family's feelings, but they're not violating somebody, especially not some innocent child. Dude, like, could I have a better example of why religion is dangerous? And it doesn't matter which crazy cult you believe in. Oh, Jesus. Can we talk about how you got busted on a lie by your own reference about fluoride? You can't even spell fluoride right. Let's listen to you. Nobody got busted about anything. I literally, because you crappies were talking about Wikipedia wasn't a good source, so I literally went to Cochrane Study website where they said it's actually worse than what Wikipedia says. Wikipedia says it's as much as it might have as much of as a 26% chance of preventing cavities, whereas the Cochrane study said it's as low as 3%. But yeah, I got busted. Duh, duh, duh. What a dumbass. There's the dude, the millionaire, who can't prove it, who's only been here 3 times. Oh, and I love all the gangbangers who grew up without a fight. Boy, you're so much better than everybody. Wiki said 70 to 90%. No, it absolutely doesn't, you dumb ass. What the fuck are you talking? Here, let's just show you how stupid this person is. This will be easy. FLUORIDE. Or, let's see. Blah, blah, blah. 70 to 90%. You're so stupid. Oh, I guess we got to do water fluoridation. Water fluoridation. Oh, let's see. The United States is the first country to engage in water fluoridation. 72% of its population. Okay, here we go. Today, tooth decay affects 60 to 90% of school children worldwide. Fluoridation reduces cavities in children, with Cochrane reviews estimating reductions of 35% in baby teeth and 26% in permanent teeth when no other fluoride sources are available, though efficiency in adults is less clear. Okay, so let's just do this here so you can read it yourself, because I'm lying, of course. Let's see, you guys got that? Tooth decay affects 60 to 90% of school children worldwide. Fluoridation reduces cavities in children, with Cochrane reviews estimating reductions of 35% in baby teeth and 26% in permanent teeth, though efficiency in adults is less clear. So let's go to the Cochrane study. I don't go to the Cochrane website, actually. Let's see if it says it on here. But there we go. Like so at this point, the dude has zero credibility. Okay? Can we all agree with that? The dude has zero credibility. He literally made a statement that is 100% not true. And that should tell you all you need to know, really. I don't know what else to show you guys. Like, when somebody that stupid says that kind of stupid shit, it's you know, it's what it is. Like, they're stupid. They're just stupid. And they're too stupid to realize that when they say things like that, it kills all credibility they have. You know, I mean, it's right there. And when you think about it, if you're even slightly intelligent, when somebody says there's a 26% chance, that's nothing. Chance is a 26% chance. James Randi used to do something called I forgot what it was called, the James Randi Foundation, and it by the time he died, it was $1 million. Well, before he died, the prize amount was $1 million. At first, it started, I think, $1,000, and then it went to $10,000. But it was you know, he created this foundation to prove, you know, anybody that said they had psychic powers. It was actually, I think a lot of it had to do with Uri Geller, Jay, who used to claim he could bend spoons and all this other shit. So the Randi Foundation offered, hey, if you can do this, we'll pay you. It's just like me saying, if any of these people that claim to be, you know, the shit talkers on here, if they're real people, just make a quick Guy Williams Sucks video. All you got to do is make a Guy Williams Sucks video, 1 minute long, talking about how bad I am. Send it to me. Let me see that you're a real person. And then you can delete it, because I know you all think that it'll go, oh, well, you just want the video to go viral, blah, 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 blah. But the idea that like the James Randi Foundation, they would say, all right, here, you have 10 chances to, you know, you say you can do this, you can predict this, you can tell people's past, they would come up with different experiments that the person that was involved, the person making the claim, would be involved in the creation of the experiment. And then they would say, all right, you have to get, you know, 8 out of 10 right to prove that you have some sort of ability. We're going to say if you get anything less than 2, or you get 2 or 3 right, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, that's just chance. You have a chance of getting 2 of those things right. And more often than not, the people would get that chance right. That same amount. So around 26%. So when the system says it has a 26% chance that it might prevent cavities, that's basically saying it's nothing. Let's see. Y-O-U-R, twisting it, dummy. Yep. The guy that just lied also doesn't know the right your to use. Your lie was the RO doesn't take it out of water. But no, it doesn't. It doesn't take it out of water. You can't take fluoride out of water. If they say it can, if the machine says it can, it can. Yep. You are the one with zero credibility who reads things. I just love the fucking nonsense, man. You know, the only reason the dude is here is because I allow him to be, right? And if this guy was causing any sort of problems, I would get rid of him, right? I love that this guy comes in here and says stupid shit all the time and proves me right. You says 70 to 90%. So stupid. It's proven to work better. Gold standard in Japan. No need for fluoride. Fluoride is toxic waste. Yeah, fluoride's toxic waste. And we're not talking about the natural fluoride. Like, you have to be a fucking idiot to be told that the byproduct, the waste that comes from fertilizer production, can be put into your drinking water and it makes your teeth stronger. This is toxic waste. And we don't bother to say, so it might have a 3 to 26% chance of preventing cavities. Well, what else does that toxic fluoride do to your body? Your voice, says the dumb J. Joseph Cosmo is a dumb J. Go figure. He's going to say dumb childish shit. Nor should someone be sexualized if they're not mentally or physically fit enough. No, no one should be sexualized. What are you, crazy? It calcifies pineal gland, though, interestingly enough. That's what they say. I mean, we don't know if that's true. But we know that's what the claim is. The dude who doesn't know which your to use, he's going to call people names and say stupid stuff. When you can't use the correct your, not only do you lose all credibility with that too, but just think about how stupid you have to be to not know which your to use consistently. Even after you've been, corrected a bunch of times, this guy still does it. Yeah. Look at this nonsense. Look at this crazy nonsense. But that's like needing to be told, well, what's a teenager? Well, what's a child? Some of us don't need to be told that. Some of us don't need to be told that putting toxic waste into the drinking water is a bad thing. Some of us don't need to be told that spraying a bunch of shit into the sky is not a good thing. Again, for everybody that doesn't believe in chemtrails, just look it up. The chemtrail, like if you look up chemtrails and then the first thing that pops up is the Wikipedia page, and it says the chemtrail conspiracy or something. And the first line says, chemtrails are the erroneous conspiracy theory that blah, blah, blah. It's the first line. The second line talks about how it's administered. And the third line tells you it's true. Stratospheric aerosol the stratospheric aerosol injection and marine cloud brightening are literally chemtrails. It's exactly what people claim it is. And yet people are stupid. Let's look up ad hominem real quick, just so we can prove some more points, because proving points is fun. Ad hominem. Ad hominem. Short for argumentum ad hominem refers to several types of arguments that are usually fallacious. Fallacious. Often, currently, this term refers to a rhetorical strategy where the commenter attacks the character, motive, or some other attribute of the person making an argument rather than the substance of the argument itself. Literally, if I need to sit here and point it out to you, I guess you're just not paying attention. This avoids genuine debate by creating a diversion, often using a totally irrelevant but highly charged attribute of the opponent's character or background. Look at that guy's haircut. He smokes too much. Wah, wah, wah. That kind of shit. The most common form of this fallacy is person A, me, makes a claim of fact. Fluoride is insane. There is no Jesus. There is no God. It's all bullshit. Trump and there's no difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. Trump was best buddies with Epstein and then covered up his death. Trump locked us down in 2019. Trump lost the first election by 2.7 million votes, and then the swamp, the dual Israeli citizen swamp that he was supposed to drain, put him in anyway. Trump lied about the fucking wall, blah, blah. Trump said, every single Trump supporter said prior to the election that it was Biden's fault that gas and food prices were so high, and when Trump gets in, he's going to cut that shit in half. It was either that or the border was every single fucking Trump supporter's first argument. Is either the first or second argument. Like I say, they either went with the border first or they went with the gas and grocery prices. But then afterwards, since then, grocery prices and gas prices have gone up, and grocery prices Well, Trump just said a couple weeks ago he doesn't think he can bring the grocery prices down. But hey, they don't want to acknowledge that. So these are those claims of fact that I love to make. Oh, look, we have somebody that's so stupid. Like, think about how stupid that is, right? Somebody makes a bunch of facts, and instead of being able to argue it, you just go, MAGA! I've been given a phrase. I'm going to say the phrase. Think about how stupid that has to be. The most common one makes an argument, claim of fact, to which person B, the commenter, asserts that person A has a personal trait, quality, or physical attribute that is repugnant, thereby going off topic, and hence person B concludes that that's you, person A, me, has their fact wrong without ever addressing the point of the debate. A common misconception is that ad hominem attack is synonymous with insult, and I don't think it is. I think an ad hominem attack, I think every time you guys do this, you're basically saying that I'm right. You're just not big enough to actually acknowledge it. But you're saying, if you could argue something, you would, but you can't, so you're going to say something stupid. And that's how this works over and over again. Perhaps some therapy. Yep, therapy or meds, says the dumb J. As always, it's the same dumb shit. Yeah, if I could just get therapy and medicated, then I might be a dumb sheep like you and believe in Jesus. I might be a dumb sheep like you and think that Trump is the savior.
Seriously, turn on any comedian right now. Any comedian. And the main topic is what a fucking dumbass Trump is. Listen to any analyst, even his own right now. The Department of Treasury Secretary was asked questions about what Trump's doing economically right now. And all he kept saying was, I don't know. I don't know. How do you still like that man? What redeeming quality, what policies has he done?
He's racist. They're racist. It's that simple.
As of tomorrow, I think it is, we put the 20% tariff on China. They came back and added a 34% tariff on American goods. So Trump said if they don't lift that, he's adding an additional 50%. It's a 70% tariff on a country.
Who do you think suffers from that?
Right.
Who do you think ends up paying for that in the long run?
Not Trump and his buddies.
No, they don't give a shit. I don't remember Americans like, and if anybody says, oh, we need to make more money, all we have to do is stop giving money to Israel and the Jays.
Make the wealthy pay their taxes.
Make the wealthy pay their taxes. Tax the big sports leagues. Tax the church. We could do all that shit, and then we'd have more than enough money to fix the roads, to create good,
feed the fucking homeless.
Feed the homeless, create jobs, or create programs for abused women, drug addicts.
Offer actual mental health,
right,
and proper education systems. It would take care of everything.
But no, that's not important. Go MAGA, yeah, blah 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 blah. Look how insane these people are.
I'm sorry, you were supposed to be single, weren't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, she threw that off. After experiencing DMT, I've had a hard time believing I know the extent of nature or reality. Yeah, well, again, we're talking about drugs. I love how he attacked over his small spelling error. Yep. When you're going to say, you're getting it wrong, dummy, and you can't get the you're right, you better believe I'm going to focus on how smart you are. Oh, they've heightened the tariffs throughout the years, and we're just doing, yep, that's what it is. How dare you call people racist as you call people Jays all day? You know how stupid you are? Jays aren't a race.
Here comes an English lesson, you
right.
Dumbass.
We're not talking about a race of people. We're talking about a belief structure. But again, look at how desperately stupid these people are.
Now, had you called him prejudiced against that group, you'd be correct.
Absolutely.
Now, whether it's deserving or not is where the real facts lie.
It is deserving. Nobody that's not in that group should support that group. That group is awful and they hate you. They fucking hate you.
Maybe not hate.
Especially over there, they do.
To do the shit for them, especially if it's stuff that they don't want to do.
They hate you as soon as you start talking about them. They might be to your face, but as soon as you start questioning them and their beliefs, they hate you.
Well, and even if, say your best friend is, when the shit hits the fan, like it's getting there, and people are forced to, take sides, if it's that group against anybody, they're gonna choose that group, not you.
They automatically do. They already do that. They know, like you say, not all of them practice the penis cutting and sucking.
Right.
But some of them do. A lot of them do. A lot more of them do than you think. And the ones that don't support the ones that do.
You still want to pledge your allegiance to the fucking church. You know goddamn well how many pastors, preachers,
No, you
priests.
don't. You know what they've let you know.
Well, right.
That number is a small percentage of what actually happens.
But you know damn well they do this. Now, not all of them do that. But when push comes to shove, if you have to choose the church views or not, you're going to choose the church views and just overlook that horrible, horrible stuff. Well, it's the same principle. You want a sandwich?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, I guess. No, I'm good. Yep, I live at home with my mom. What of October 7th? It was fake. No Israelis died and no Israelis were taken hostage that day. It was all fake. And even if it was real, it would be completely justified. Completely.
After what's been going on in Palestine?
The Israelis had already killed 273 people. I think it's 273, something like that.
It was one
people,
of the most
innocent civilians, by the time October 7th happened that year. It was set to be the deadliest year since 2000.
Shocking out of that whole ordeal, honestly, was what showed me the pictures of what Gaza actually looked like.
Yeah, before and after.
Because I had the stories that were led to believe and things they insinuate it was just this dirt hole full of sand and little shacks and living in squalor, and like I had no idea it was beautiful, looked like a first world country.
You're not with me on chemtrails. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I mean, okay, so let's see. Let me just run outside real quick. Excuse me. Yeah.
Did you get some bread? Good for you.
Okay, so right now, there's no lines in the sky.
No, they're clouds. These are called clouds.
These are clouds. There's no lines. Why aren't there lines? If it's what's up, man? If it's something that happens, if it's just what planes do, why isn't it what planes do every day? Why don't planes do it all the time? But as far as chemtrails go, let's have some fun here. I've read this a bunch of times, but let's do it anyway. So we'll put chemtrails into the Google machine. And then we get the chemtrail conspiracy theory from Wikipedia. The chemtrail conspiracy theory is the erroneous belief that long-lasting condensation trails left in the sky by high-flying aircraft are actually chemtrails, consisting of chemicals or biological agents sprayed for nefarious purposes undisclosed to the general public. Believers in this conspiracy theory say that while normal contrails dissipate relatively quickly, which they do, contrails that linger must contain additional substances. Seems pretty fucking spot on. That was sentence number 2. You ready for sentence number 3? Those who subscribe to the theory speculate that the purpose of the chemical release may be solar radiation management, weather modification, physiological or psychological manipulation, human population control, biological or chemical warfare, or testing of biological or chemical agents on a population and that the trails are causing respiratory illness and other health problems. Okay, so see that? We're going to click on solar radiation management. Solar radiation management is a group of large-scale approaches to reduce global warming by increasing the amount of sunlight, solar radiation, that is reflected away from the Earth and back into space. Among the potential methods, stratospheric aerosol injection is the most studied, meaning it's happening, followed by marine cloud brightening. So let's check out what stratospheric aerosol injection is. Stratospheric aerosol injection is a proposed method of solar geoengineering to reduce global warming. This would introduce aerosols into the stratosphere to create a cooling effect via global dimming and increasing albedo, which occurs naturally from volcanic winter. It appears that stratospheric aerosol injection at a moderate intensity could counter most changes in temperature and precipitation, take effects rapidly, and have a low direct implementation cost, and be reversible in its direct climate effects. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change concludes that it is the most researched solar geoengineering method that could limit the warming to below 1.5 degrees Celsius. So the whole global warming narrative is because they say that the Earth is 1.5 degrees Celsius warmer than it used to be. Do you not realize how stupid that is? They make a claim that is something that you can't physically tell. You don't fucking, oh, well, it's actually 1 degree warmer than it was last year on this day. And in a year before that, like, you don't fucking know. It's not something that you can feel or experience or change, anything. But they tell you it happens. All the global warming brouhaha is about 1.5 degrees Celsius. So, let's see. However, like other solar geoengineering approaches, stratospheric injection, aerosol injection would also do so imperfectly, and other effects are possible, particularly if used in a suboptimal manner. So negative side effects could happen. Proposed methods. Various forms of sulfur were proposed as injected substances, as this is part of how volcanic eruptions cool the planet. Precursor gases such as sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide have been considered. According to estimates, 1 kilogram of well-placed sulfur in the stratosphere would roughly offset the warming effect of several 100,000 kilograms of carbon dioxide. One study calculated the impact of injecting sulfate particles or aerosols every 1 to 4 years into the stratosphere in amounts equal to those lofted by the volcanic eruption of Mount Pinatubo in 1991, but did not address the many technical and political challenges involved in potential solar geoengineering efforts. Use of gaseous sulfuric acid appears to reduce the problem of aerosol growth. What's aerosol growth? Where it spreads out? So they're gonna put sulfuric acid into the air? That should be good. Materials such as photophoretic particles, metal oxides, as in Welbesch seating and titanium dioxide, and diamond are also under consideration. Various techniques have been proposed for delivering the aerosol or precursor gases. The required altitude to enter the stratosphere is the height of the troposphere, which varies from 11 kilometers, 6.8 miles at the poles, to 17 kilometers, 11 miles at the equator. Like how when you see the chemtrails, it's always from planes that are super, super high up. I mean, the fact is, if you're the type of person that can go outside on a clear blue day, a day that's supposed to be sunny and clear, and watch as planes leave huge streaks in the sky that eventually spread out and become cloud cover, and you don't think something's wrong with that, I don't know what to tell you. If your car was driving down the street and leaving this big fucking exhaust trail behind it, you would take it to the shop. The thing about chemtrails that's so interesting to me is that Detroit Metro Airport is roughly 10 miles south of here. Directly, like you get on the main road and go directly south, and it's a mile up and 10, 15 miles south of here. I see airplanes all the time coming in and doing their curves so they can come into the airport 10 miles south of here and land. And every single one of those planes isn't leaving shit. Even on the days where planes are leaving shit all in the sky. However, when it comes to the chemtrails, I'd say about 95% of them go west to east. The other 4.5% go east to west. And then maybe every once in a great while, I'll see one going north to south. So 0.5% of the time. If it's just normal plane activity, why isn't in every direction? Why is it only going west to east, where what happens to be east of me, about 40 miles northeast, Selfridge Air Force Base. Go figure, what a coincidence. What a coincidence that the Air Force Base would be right in the direction that the majority of these planes, only the planes that leave trails, are going. And so often it happens that there'll be nothing all day until about the time when kids get out of school. And then suddenly, it'll happen today, suddenly just from the west, all of these planes will just start flying from as far to the horizon in the north to as far to the horizon as you can to the south. It's not like they're on a flight path. They're blanketing the narrative. It's just being blanketed. But hey, that's not real. It's just normal. That's just what normal planes do. Civilian aircraft, including the Boeing and Gulfstream, could be modified at a relatively low cost to deliver significant amounts of the required material, according to one study. Blah, 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 blah. It's all the same shit. But here it is. So wait, let's look up the better one. The better one is marine cloud brightening. Okay? I know I'm making all this stuff up, right? Marine cloud brightening, also known as marine cloud seeding or marine cloud engineering, may be a way to make stratocumulus clouds over the sea brighter, thus reflecting more sunlight back into space in order to limit global warming. Because again, it's a whole 1.5 degrees Celsius warmer, 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit. Couldn't tell me that today, though. It's cold out there. It is one of two such methods that might feasibly have a substantial climate impact, but is lower in the atmosphere than stratospheric aerosol injection. It may be able to keep local areas from overheating. If used on a large scale, it might reduce the Earth's albedo. This has been changed since I last looked at it. And so, in combination with greenhouse gas emission reduction, limit climate change and its risks to people and the environment. If implemented, the cooling effect would be expected to be felt rapidly and to be reversible in on very short timescales. However, technical barriers remain to large-scale marine cloud brightening, and it would not offset all the current warming. As clouds are complicated and poorly understood, the risks of marine cloud brightening are unclear as of 2025. So, since I started making a big deal out of this page that hadn't been edited in a while suddenly was just edited. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that coincidentally amazing? Exhaust from ships causing more and brighter clouds above the ocean in 2006. Yeah, nothing to see there. They're literally admitting it to you. This is the part I never understand about people. Like, it's one thing to say, oh, I don't believe what my eyes are seeing, I guess. But when it's here, they're telling you what they do. Very much a coincidence, not right? Isn't that fucking crazy? This page hadn't been edited in a long time. And then after the last video I made like a month ago, remember that really, really bad day that it was in the PM. It wasn't even a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I did a PM video, and it was one of the worst I've seen in a long time. And I believe I documented it pretty well. I kept telling you the planes were going to come, and they did. And now all of a sudden it's been edited with a whole bunch of mights. It might be doing this. It might do that. Very small droplets of seawater are now it's very small droplets of seawater. Holy shit. Somebody really did a number on this. Are sprayed into the air to increase cloud reflectivity. The fine particles of sea salt enhance cloud condensation nuclei, making more cloud droplets, so making the clouds more reflective. MCB could be implemented using fleets of unmanned rotor ships to disperse seawater mist into the air. Data from small-scale field tests on the Great Barrier Reef in 2024 are being analyzed. Holy shit. And to think, like, obviously it's the Jays that run this shit, because the Jays are the ones that say if you open the books on Israel, if you look into Israel, you demonize Israel. They're so stupid. They don't realize that they're saying, like, if I said you open the books on me, you're going to demonize. Like, that makes me look bad. I encourage you to open the books on me. I encourage you to look into my history, which a lot of you have. I'm very proud of everything I do, and I don't believe my stuff is bad. I don't believe I can be demonized. And it's the same stupid-ass people that make these pages where they fucking admit to it. And then tell you you're crazy. Basic principles. Ships churning across the Pacific Ocean left this cluster of bright cloud trails lingering in the atmosphere in 2012. They're saying that this is from boats, not even planes. Are you fucking kidding me? Look at this shit. The narrow clouds known as ship tracks, from when water vapor condenses around tiny particles of pollution that ships either emit directly as exhaust or that form as a result of gases within the exhaust. What? That is fucking insane, you guys. Marine cloud brightening is based on phenomena that are currently observed in the climate system. Today, emissions particles such as soot mix with the clouds in the atmosphere and increase the amount of sunlight they reflect, reducing warming. Holy shit. This wasn't just changed a little bit. This was completely overhauled. I want to go back to one of my previous videos where I read this exact same page and see just how different it is. Beeve, what's happening? This cooling effect is estimated at between 0.5 and 1.5 degrees Celsius. Again, not something that you could even notice. You wouldn't notice a 1 degree change. You couldn't put your finger in 66 degree water as opposed to 67 degree water and you'd be like, oh yeah, I can tell. Yet I'm supposed to believe that the globe warming 1.5 degrees Celsius is detrimental to come on, fuck on. That's like saying all of the ice regions are exactly 32 degrees. And if they go up to 33 degrees, well, all the ice will start melting. It's fucking stupid, you guys. I want to physically see how the hell they are doing it. What do you mean? It's go outside. Go look up at the sky. Any day you see them leaving fucking huge trails in the sky. I mean, it's dropping shit out of a plane. How long after they learned how to fly do you think they thought they could drop shit out of planes? The funny thing is, when you look at the history of this, they talk about how in the 1880s or some shit, 1890s, some guy proposed shooting liquid liquid dry ice into the atmosphere. Dry ice doesn't occur. It goes directly from solid to gas. It doesn't have a liquid state. So in the 1880s or 1890s, somebody knew how to compress dry ice, carbon dioxide, into a form that was liquid. It would be in liquid. It has to be in canisters. As soon as it hits the atmosphere, it turns into gas. Yet in the 1890s, this guy was proposing shooting liquid carbon dioxide into the sky. It can only be in fuel. You fall for the whole airplane fuel thing. The idea that airplanes, that giant planes have fuel, have thousands of gallons of fuel in their wings, and the wings don't break, and the plane doesn't slosh all over the place or anything like, you know how foolish that is? The whole jet fuel, the whole airplane fuel myth is just another one of these things that they've created so that they can charge us more money to fly. But it's just not true. And one of the biggest challenges with this, again, comes down to people's arrogance. You think that because you don't understand how it works, it can't possibly be true? You can see it with your own eyes. You can see that something's happening. Just because you don't know the mechanics behind how it's happening doesn't mean it's not true. So how do planes fly? I don't fucking know. I guarantee it's not with liquid fuel sloshing around in the wings. And it comes down to, again, common sense. Think about it. Have you ever tried to carry a gallon of gas in a gas can? It's amazingly heavy. I mean, it's a gallon, so it's going to be 6 pounds of, well, water is 6 pounds. I don't know if gas is heavier. But every gallon is 6 pounds. So how many gallons of fuel does a plane hold? I don't want to, I'll just come back to it. How many gallons of gas do airplanes hold? The fuel capacity of airplanes vary greatly depending on the aircraft model, but large commercial jets like the Boeing 747 can hold roughly 63,000 gallons. 63,000 times 6 equals 378,000 pounds of fuel. Dude, this is not me. This is not my conspiracy, blah, 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 like you want to turn it into. You believe that the airplane that already weighs, how much does the Boeing, let's find out. How much does a Boeing 747 weigh? Boeing 747 weighs 404,600 pounds. So we could safely say 405,000 pounds. plus another 386,000 pounds. So almost 1,000,000 pounds of material are just flying through the air. You think that makes sense? Go ahead, Mo. That is fucking goofy as hell. I didn't even think about that shit till just now, but get out of here. Go. Think about how unbelievably goofy it is. What they've tricked you into believing. I mean, it's like this is the kind of stuff where you have to get over your own personal bullshit hang-ups, whatever negative reason you're here to begin with. But just use common sense. I mean, it's literally the plane almost doubles its weight after it's fueled up. And then that's liquid fuel that is in the wings only. Those wings, those aluminum wings that are about as wide as the plane is long, they hold 386,000 pounds of fuel. 747 has a bunkhouse in the back above the ceiling. So what, dude? So the weight is a little more distributed, but a bunch of it is in the wings as well. Always out there yelling at someone. Yeah. Info, right. Like I'm not giving you information. I mean, it's like those that believe the ballast tanks are what bring the submarine down. That 10% of the submarine can be filled with water and that'll make it so it can sink as far as it needs to and rise. And like, it's just, you don't understand how stupid the things that you're supposed to believe truly are. Now they all are quiet. Well, no, now they're going to say stupid shit, right? They're going to say, oh, you don't like information, like the information I'm giving you. The problem is, again, you just don't understand. The lie is all-encompassing. They've been able to fly for much longer than they tell us, than we know. We all know, like, airships and air, the blimps and shit like that used to exist. And then the Hindenburg crashes, and that whole technology goes away forever. It's kind of like, again, the Hindenburg is the one time. There's this one disaster that completely negated and got rid of this superior form of travel. Like, it's the only one that has the accidents. There have been so many plane crashes, it doesn't make any sense. But then, look at the Concorde, right? Imagine if the Concorde was still in existence today. With the Earth-shaped debate as it is what it is, and people, not seeing the curve at 35,000 feet, what if they were flying at 55,000 feet like the Concorde was said to fly? And they still didn't see the curve. The Concorde had one accident. And because of one accident, this vastly superior form of transportation that was invented in the fucking late 60s that allowed rich people to travel across the world much faster than they do today. There was one accident, and that killed the entire project whatsoever. Like, that killed this multi-billion-dollar industry. One accident? And where was the fuel in those motherfuckers? I would think that because they flew so much faster, that they would require more fuel. But where would it have been? And what of sundown? Like not, oh God. The idea that you would believe in a God that wants you to starve yourself, it's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. Another comedy show playing itself, aka the commenters who obviously know everything. Right? Like, it's not like I fucking read you guys the official narrative or anything. It's amazing to me how all of these commenters just happen to be experts on everything, and I'm wrong about everything. Even though I'm looking the information up, I'm still wrong. But these random commenters, they just know about earthquakes, they know about scenes, they just know about all of these things. Yet they can't make reasonable arguments. Isn't it fucking strange? These dumb Jays that come through here and try everything they can to shoot the messenger. They ad hominem everything to death because they can't debate the actual point of the conversation. And it's not like they're going to reasonably address how the 747 holds all that fuel. And then there's that idea too that oh, the chemtrails are just fuel dumps. Why? If jet fuel is so fucking expensive and it's such a precious finite resource, why would they dump it out? Why would that make any sense? And when they dump it over the fucking population because that makes sense. Apparently 747s weigh 405,000 pounds, and they carry 63,000 gallons of fuel. 63,000 times 6 is another 380,000 pounds. So we believe that 747s at almost 500,000 pounds themselves basically double their weight and still fly around with liquid fuel sloshing around in the wings. The wings hold 380,000 pounds of fuel. The aluminum wings, airplanes are made of aluminum. So the aluminum wing, as well as a little bulkhead, I guess in the tail of the plane, hold 63,000 pounds of liquid fuel. It's sloshing. I mean, again, if you've ever tried to carry liquids, it's very difficult. But this is what people believe. And if you question that narrative, if you try to say, hey, that doesn't make any sense, people get all stupid about it. Let's see real quick. How much does a gallon of fuel weigh? Oh, yeah. A gallon of gasoline weighs about 6 pounds, while a gallon of diesel weighs about 7 pounds. Let's see. How much does a gallon of jet fuel weigh? A gallon of jet fuel typically weighs around 6.8 pounds, so 7 pounds. So let's try that. Sorry. 63,000, I won't even round up, times 6.8 equals 428,400 pounds. 428,000 pounds of liquid fuel is mostly stored in the wings of a 747 that weighs 405,000 pounds. It has more fuel weight than the entire body of the aircraft, and the majority of it's in its wings. As of April 7th, 2025, a gallon of jet fuel costs around $2.6 per gallon. So then we have 420 some thousand pounds. So around $800,000, $900,000 in fuel that they just dump. Pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy the shit that they have you believing without truly thinking about it or just, you know, scrutinizing it even a little bit. Anyway, I'm done. You guys have a great fucking day. You pedophiles, especially you fucking Muslim pedophile piece of shit. Kill yourself. Go get your free downloads, everybody. Go get your free download, www.the-bilderberg, group.com. I will also leave a link to the movie Hollywoodism so you guys can watch it for yourselves, even though none of you seem to be willing to watch it. Just like none of you real people seem to be willing to make the Guy Williams Sucks video and then send it to me so I can see that you're a real person and not an Israeli bot. But also go get your, or I'm going to leave a link to our new song, Nice Try Diddy. Link to the Facebook video so you can go check out the video amongst other ones on our Facebook page and blah, blah, blah. Go get free download. Go watch Hollywoodism. Go check out Nice Try Diddy. And again, pedophiles, kill yourself quickly.